Gonna go northbound on Hilton Street from North Avenue. Gonna make the left and go on Clifton towards Walbrook Junction. Alright, he's stopping here. Hold the air. Clifton and Denison. Stopping here. Hold the air. Get up top! Hands! Everybody over the left. Yeah, this is a big thing. Do a roll call to make sure all of these units are okay. Make sure that nobody gets hit on the plane box.
To signal 13, Clifton and Denison. 1032 to signal 13, Clifton and Denison.
Let's go to Amy. What do you think, Amy?
Man, it takes, like I said, just a second, but you see his right hand go right down. I didn't see the gun personally at that time. However, there's no other reason to be putting your hand down when you.
Keaton, what do you think?
Well, when you replayed the video, and I did eventually catch that right arm go down. Yeah, and they did retrieve a gun from him, I believe, at this point. But, I mean, it just happened in a blink of a second, so I would say this is reasonable.
Jim, how you feeling about this one?
I don't know. To me, it appeared like they shot a guy that had both his arms up. I didn't catch an arm dropping for any time with the shot. So I don't know. It just seems so fast. To me, it seemed bizarre that they shot a guy with both his arms up.
Steve, what do you think?
All right, so Joe, are you gaslighting us? What happened before this? How long was the chase? Did he shoot at officers, or was it because there were a bunch of units responding? So I want to know, like, what happened beforehand.
It was that vehicle was spotted by Air Patrol as a vehicle that was wanted in connection to a armed carjacking. In fact, that vehicle was stolen from someone at gunpoint. They pulled the person out. A pursuit, he calls that in. Obviously, ground units start to approach, and a pursuit began, and the pursuit went on for some time. I did edit some of that out because a lot of it's just
I know.
dudes driving down the street. But when the pursuit ended, they go to make contact in there, and initially does. He has both of his hands up. But just before the shots fire, he drops his right hand, and that's when 3 officers aired him out efficiently.
So you can argue, was he trying to get his seatbelt off? But I doubt, I mean, he's not a law-abiding citizen, so he probably wasn't wearing a seatbelt in a carjacking. But you have to assume there's a perceived threat and justified.
Really what we're asking, is it reasonable for those officers to believe that he wasn't reaching down to take his seatbelt off? You know, that he was reaching down to present some sort of a harm to them, in this case, deadly force, because that's the only time you can use deadly force is to counter deadly force. So that's really our question. Is it reasonable for them to believe, not that he was, not that he truly, after a thorough investigation, remember, after thorough investigation, we find out, they say it's a BB gun. Doesn't negate the fact that it was reasonable for one to believe that it was a real gun when they saw it from a distance, right? In a scenario like that. This is kind of the same way. Is it reasonable for them to believe that they believed he was reaching to get a gun or a firearm and use force against them? You know?
Yeah,
No,
I
it was
didn't really
Jason.
see his hand go all the way down. And I thought that the cop was a little trigger happy, to be honest. I heard a lot of bullets blaring. He could have shot at him a couple times and maybe not have killed him, but I don't know.
Well, yeah. So whenever something like this happens, so we're watching body cam footage. So obviously, like line of sight, you can probably see this a lot more clear, right? But I would say, like, honestly, like if it's a perceived threat, you don't have to say, oh, well, his hand went down 6 inches, so he's obviously grabbing the gun. And you don't wait for someone to bring it back up before you start trying to protect you and your buddies out there in the field, right?
3 seconds down. Let's go to a vote. Steve loves ammo. How say you?
Yeah, what I learned in the military is called a term called the violence of action. You always be higher, more violent than the people trying to kill you, right? So,
My God,
reasonable.
don't use that in the court. If you ever go to court, dude, spit that out. Never say it again. No. But it's true. But don't say it in the courtroom. But okay, so you're good with it that
Yep.
the threat was perceived and the threat was negotiated. We'll say. Amy, how say you?
I say it was justified. He had just a previous carjacking with an armed weapon, and they knew that going in.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to say his arms were up. I didn't see it. It wasn't clear to me. It seemed an awful fast unload of a whole lot of shots just based on. I mean, the guy could have had an itch. I don't know. I'm gonna say it was unjustified.
Yeah, after watching the video several times, I did see that right arm go down, and anything could happen in a blink of a second. I would have unloaded my magazine too. Justified.
3-1.
It is 3-1. Reasonable force.
Follow, subscribe, and comment.
An incarcerated individual's use of institutional telephones constitutes consent, and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies.